WMUZ 103.5 The Light, Detroit Made Bible Strong. Hello, good morning. Hope you're having a great Saturday. Thank you for being here. It's the Home and Health Show. I happen to be your host, Michael Thomas McIntyre. You can call me Mac. That's great. I hang out with you guys Monday through Friday from 4 to 7 and get the privilege of talking to some of our great business owners in the community that come in and offer educational tips and offer you an opportunity to change your life in some instances. And two of those friends are Dave and Julie from Brain Life Center, who are joining me on this Saturday. Hello, my friends.
Hello.
How you doing?
Nice to see you.
You too.
Good to see you.
Springtime has arrived.
It feels
Isn't
so good.
Yeah. Even if it's
so
in the
good.
40s or whatever it may be, it's still even nice to say the word officially on the calendar. It's like, it's
It
spring.
is.
People are coming out of their caves.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And the crazy drivers are out and, you know, all the things that happen when people start losing their minds. It's a stressful world, guys. And that's why you're here, because you
Yes.
help a lot of folks and a lot of people who have sleeping problems, concentration problems, anxiety problems, people with PTSD. You help athletes out. You do all kinds of work for people that are looking to take their performance level to the next level. So we got a lot to talk about today. And I know you guys always have interesting people that you bring that we hear from that have gone through what you guys do. I am, for folks that don't know, that may be hearing Dave and Julie for the first time, I have been through their program also with tremendous results. When I first came to town here a couple of years ago, I was having some anxiety issues and concentration issues and was able to get into the initial assessment. And that's really where the ball gets rolling in the assessment. Now, I don't want to steal all the thunder because I want Dave and Julie to explain that, because I could do this. I could talk about this through my own experience for the entire show.
So we can just relax.
Yeah, you can relax and do whatever you want. I'm your mouthpiece today. So anyway, talk about Brain Life and talk about, first of all, let's enlighten the folks that you have a new location, which isn't exactly new, but you were out by DTE for a while and you had an office in Plymouth. Now
That's
you
right.
guys have taken the show and stopped in Auburn Hills.
That's right. We had an opportunity to build the largest facility to date. If people know us, they know we've been around for about 10 years. And the technology is very computer reliant, and it's been improving. So we wanted to build a facility that really enhanced and was designed around the latest technology. So that's our Auburn Hills office. And it's right off 75.
It's right near the Chrysler Tech Center, so
Right,
people know
yes.
where that is. So it's very close.
Yeah, you're in an area where you talk about people that have to be working at high performance and are always looking to elevate themselves through different things that happen in our lives, like not getting enough sleep, anxiety. When you're in those kind of situations, you need to be clear. You need to have that clarity. And that's the one thing that I've always said through the treatment I had with you guys, was there was a clarity that suddenly happened that I didn't even realize I didn't have, you know? And it's very difficult to explain it, but it's like you become alert in a sense that you thought you were alert before, but your brain just does what it does naturally, and all of a sudden you're like, hey. What I love about what you do is you can see these issues and you can help, and there are no drugs. And in some instances, kids are getting off of Ritalin and these other things that they're taking.
Yeah, we love working with kids, and I can tell you, we work with all ages. One nice thing about this technology is you don't have to fully understand what led you to that place, right? I mean, the veterans that we work with, they are combat vets. They know what caused their issue. But we work with some kids that might have been adopted, and they have no idea why they're struggling, but they know they're struggling.
Right.
In both cases, you show the brain itself in these specific areas, and it tends to self-correct and reset. And we actually brought a testimonial of a young girl who was dealing with these kinds of stressors. She's 9 years old, and her father came down with cancer. And it changed her world because he's going through the cancer therapies, and now he's at home, mom's working, and so she started having problems with anger, lashing out. But so we brought this. We'll share this with you in the audience.
All right,
she's a cute little girl.
Let's hear from Elizabeth.
Yeah, here she is.
As a teacher, I don't have to go in and talk to her anymore. And when she became the student of the week, that really surprised me. I'm going, are you sure this is yours? And they said, yeah, it was. She doesn't act out like she used to. It's like she's going through life a lot better than what she was. What I want her to do is be able to not to be so stressed out, to be able to sleep, to treat her sisters without hitting them, because she would do it a lot.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi,
How old are you, Elizabeth?
9 years old.
9 years old. What have you noticed with your ability to focus? Focus in school and focus at home?
Well, I just don't get mad at my sisters as much. When my sisters go to bother me, I'll just ignore them. They'll just walk away.
And what are you noticing with your sleep?
I'm getting a couple more hours of sleep.
And how does it feel to get a couple more hours of sleep a night?
Good.
Do you wake feeling a little better?
Yeah.
What else have you noticed as far as how you're doing in school?
I think I've learned a lot more in school. I've learned more multiplications. I don't really get into so many arguments at school.
How are you doing with your reading?
Good. I moved up to a level O.
And she's doing so much better now that her little brother wants to be around her all the time instead of me now. And that's great. I mean, I love that. She's enjoying herself. So she's doing a lot better than she was, and I'm glad of that.
So, can I share with you that imagine this 9-year-old girl suddenly acting out anger, focus issues, not doing well in school. A normal path for her could be medications. But really, the obstacle occurred because of the stressors in her life. So when she came in and went through this process, which is very comfortable and very easy to go through, we took care of those obstacles that were imbalances in her brain. And now she's being kind, getting along. Imagine how that impacts her whole future.
Right.
Right? If she had stayed on the path she was on, who knows where that would have gone. But we know now that she's on a good path.
How
doing
many
good
treatments did she have?
I believe she did a total of 8 sessions.
Okay.
It depends on a lot of things, but for her, 8 sessions. We met her through the Morning Light on a pay it forward plan.
Ah, okay.
So what a gift this family was given.
Yeah, she sounds like a sweetheart, and what a blessing as the parents, too, to be able to go, wow, we've turned the corner. This is
Right.
miraculous. One of many examples, guys, that our friends at Brain Life Center can do for you, for your family, for your kids. Get in and get an assessment, guys. And you can call right now and get on the books and meet these great folks. 248-922-9490. We got a whole lot more to talk about. This is a great day with Dave and Julie from Brain Life Center. We'll be back with more next. WMUZ 1035, The Lights. Welcome back to the Home and Health Show. It's Mac here live. Thanks for being part of what we do here on Saturday morning. Dave and Julie from Brain Life Center joining me. They happen to be brother and sister, and they've been doing this great work for like 10 years, and they're changing lives and helping people, my life included, Bob Duco's life included, Chris Stevenson's life included, with true change for all of us. We all had different things going on. Bob had a sleep issue. Chris had a problem with caffeine and sleep, and I had an anxiety issue, and we all went through treatment. It all came out the other side with a clarity that is unexplainable. You heard from Elizabeth, the little girl who went in who was had trouble with concentration and anger and just a myriad of things that a little child should not have to deal with. She went through the treatments, and she's doing fantastic. So there's a lot of good work being done, and I'm glad you're here with us this morning to get educated and hopefully to get stimulated to pick up the phone and call these folks at 248-922-9490. Are a lot of people that we're seeing, guys, and I think I know the answer to this or I wouldn't ask it, but trauma seems to come with everybody in our lives at some point, and our bodies are able to deflect it, but not always. Some people feel like when there's trauma that they can bury it down and I'll be okay, and you go through life. I'm a great example of that. I would be like, hey, no way, not me, Superman.
Right, that's right.
But one day it comes to the surface, one day it comes. So when you're seeing little kids like this, and when you're seeing adults, or you're seeing people that have issues, is there a trauma base around it a lot of times?
There is, but they don't always know what it is. Like I
Right.
said earlier, right? Sometimes these adopted kids that had some kind of trauma occur when they were younger, they don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
Everybody knows there's an issue, but they don't know what caused it. Then there's people like our veterans, right? They remember that extreme combat situation where things kind of went south, and they haven't been the same. But in both cases, the technology allows us to create this auditory mirror. We get to let the brain see itself in a way it hasn't seen itself before because of these algorithms that we've talked about, because of the ability to translate brainwaves into audible tones, right? It's a high resonant tone that you're listening to. So it's just fun to watch, regardless of their age, the trauma. Sometimes it's just stress day in, day out, right? The stress
Sure.
of a job,
Sure.
the stress of moving. You went through that, right?
Yeah,
It's
that
like-
was certainly part of what I had going on when I came here. I mean, I had left a place and a home I'd been in for 10 years.
Yeah.
I came back to an area, of course, I grew up here, but I hadn't been here in 25 years. I moved my
Yeah.
kids, my wife, my son and
a
I.
lot.
My
It's
son
a
and
lot of
I.
change.
My son and I came early because of the job here at WMUZ and stayed at my parents while my wife stayed back with my daughter to get the house closed and make sure that the movers got everything. And I was responsible for finding us shelter here.
Yeah.
You know, we certainly weren't going to live with my mom. Then I'm walking in every day to a job with a group of people I didn't know. I had a couple of Skype interviews and spoke to our general manager several times and negotiated our deal via the telephone and flew in for one interview. And all of a sudden, here I am. And it's strange. I'm glad you asked me that because I thought being raised in this area, because I know these streets like the back of my hand.
Yeah.
They haven't changed a whole lot.
Right.
I thought that was going to be enough to be able to say, okay, I'm back home. And part of that was true, but I had not been I wasn't acclimated. I hadn't been back here in a quarter century. And that first 6-8 months to a year, I finally now start feeling like I'm back, and it'll be 3 years in July.
Wow.
But that first go around when I met all of y'all, I was doing that typical, okay, this is just natural. This is what happens. Things, you're going to be a little off track. You got to steady the ship. Until I got to you and had that assessment and realized that my brain was going in directions it shouldn't be going in. And it was recognized. And that immediate, after the treatments, it started to change. And
It's pretty eye-opening.
I keep thinking about teams. I keep thinking about like our station here. We have a general manager who runs the show. We all work for him. We have an objective. We have a game plan. We have a bottom line. We have goals that we want to reach. And in order for that to happen, and I'm hoping every business is like this, you got to have a team rolling on the same page to get there. And if one of your teammates is off balance, that can make it tough to get to your objective. What would it be beneficial for somebody with a small business, or for instance, you guys are out by Chrysler with all these folks that are dealing with $1 million budgets and ads and
high stress positions.
high stress positions.
Yeah,
I mean,
high
what a great
performance
opportunity.
teams. Yeah, it works great.
Yeah, I want to say to business owners, we're business
Yeah.
owners, right?
Right.
Performance of your team and yourself, just the slightest increase in performance makes a massive difference in the big picture. So you get everybody on your team functioning optimally, where they're focusing, their creativity is up, they're on target, they're present, they're getting a good night's sleep. They're really there doing the work. Amazing what that can do for a company.
See, I think that would be almost as important as drug testing. I know that sounds silly to say it, but if
Really?
I owned
Really?
a business and I knew what I know now about you guys, it would be mandatory.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you passed the drug test. You got the job based on the initial testing we needed you to take. Now, guess what? You got the job. And we as a team are going to go to Brain Life, and this is the next step before we put the project out and the goal out for what our expectation is. I mean, I believe that much in it. And if
Absolutely.
you're a business owner and you're in that kind of high pressure stressor situation, these guys could do some great stuff for you and your employees. There is nothing like coming in with 10 or 12, 15, 18 people, and you're all creative and jumping around and excited and focused. And you as the team leader can come in with great ideas and be able to be receptive of the other people on your team who have great ideas. And man, it sounds pretty beneficial to me.
It's a powerful thing, and anybody that works on a team knows that, like you said, if one person's a little off, it's obvious. And certainly, as an individual, if you're not getting deep, restful sleep, if you're feeling a little stressed and you kind of know it, but you're always working through it, when that is relieved, when you're actually feeling a more calm, focused energy, and you bring that to the workplace, it really changes everything. And people are constantly surprised. They don't even know how good it could be. And then when they experience the contrast,
Right.
they're like, wow, I didn't realize it could be like this.
Well, I've always been a decent sleeper, I think, but I can't imagine how you function when you're going through something like a 2-hour sleep for years every night. I mean, it would almost seem like you'd be a zombie in life.
Many people are. Many people don't even know that they're walking around kind of like a zombie. And then the people who do know just need to know there's an answer.
Right.
Right?
Right. That's the interesting thing, because so many people have alternative methods to sleeping, and many of those are unhealthy.
We often see people after they've tried everything, and then they're like,
Sure.
what else can I do?
They're at the end of the road, and they're getting, 8 hours of sleep a week, or they're
Yeah.
waking up in the middle of
Yeah.
the night and staying awake till 5 in the morning when they have to get up or whatever.
That's right.
Yeah, it's encouraging to know. So if you're in the listening audience today and you're hearing or experiencing or know somebody who has some of these symptoms, get them on the telephone at 248-922-9490. And I'm telling you, as I've talked about it, you'll talk to a trained coach, you'll get a conversation, you'll go in on the chair, and they'll start reading your brain, and you'll get the answers you're looking for. It's really cool stuff. So again, I want to remind you the phone number, 248-922-9490. You can call right now. We're taking a quick time out. By the time we come back, you can already be on the books. So do that as we return in a moment with the Home and Health Show on WMUZ.
Now we return with Mac, Julie Lamphere, and Dave Sanders from Brain Life Center on the Home and Health Show here on WMUZ 1035 The Light. Detroit made, Bible strong.
Welcome back to the Home and Health Show. Hope your Saturday's going great. If you are at home listening to us on whatever listening device you have, I welcome you to the show. If you're cruising, running errands, doing whatever you do on a Saturday, you got us on in the car. Thanks. And if you happen to be somewhere in this wonderful country or around the world listening to us at WMUZ.com, welcome aboard. Dave and Julie from Brain Life Center, my guest today on this Saturday. And we are talking stressors, imbalances, sleep deprivation, anxiety, lack of focus, irritability, all the things that sometimes as a society we blame on our schedules, or we blame on our lifestyle, or we blame on our job. And in some instances, we just don't even realize that this is going on in our lives, and it's slowly eroding who we can be as people fully. And for those of you that listen to this radio station, one of those things that's really important is to understand the will of God. It's to know your purpose. It's to know what you're supposed to do. And if you're scattered in all these different directions, first of all, it is not your fault. Secondly, there is hope. And that's why these guys are in here on this Saturday discussing this wonderful technology that they do with your brain. And I'm grateful that I had the opportunity to go through it a couple of years ago. It changed my life in many, many aspects. So I'm glad you're with us today. Dave and Julie, hi.
Hi.
Hello again.
We're still here.
I'm running for mayor today, man. That's my job.
I'll vote for you.
I'm the mayor of Brain Life. So let's talk about, we talked earlier in the program, for those that missed, we had a little girl named Elizabeth who had some issues, and she went through treatment and her life turned around. People my age, I mean, I'll be 55 here coming up really, really soon. And it's not alien for you to have people our age, my age, coming in with all kinds of issues, sleep issues, anxiety issues, taking on the stressors of wondering what's next. And, and that stuff piles up on you, and you try to take it on yourself and you realize you can't. So for those out there that are in our demographic, let's tell them a little bit how they can get some relief.
Okay, I want to share a story, but I want to say that, people go through this. We're lucky to have Elizabeth go through it at 9 years old. And sometimes we get young people, 20, 21, because they're full of stress with school and what are they going to do with their life?
Right.
And that's fantastic because we can really get the trajectory of their life going in the right direction.
Yeah.
But if you're 55 and you haven't taken these kind of steps and you've been white knuckling through your life,
Yes.
and you don't know that there's a solution, don't wait till you're 60 or 70.
Please do not.
Because you'll look back and say, thank God I did it when I was 55. I wish I would have done it when I was 20.
You are exactly right.
So this woman is an example of that. Her name is Paula. And, my heart just, I can't tell you how blessed we are to do this work, because Paula was in a pretty desperate place when she came to us. I mean, she didn't know if she was going to be able to continue working. And she's not the only one. We see a lot of people, they just are really in a stuck place.
What was her symptoms? What did she come in experiencing?
She was really struggling with sleep, which, if you're not sleeping, your brain isn't functioning properly.
Right.
So it can lead to anxiety and mood issues and focus issues and energy issues. So she really was dealing with all of that.
Right.
But we knew sleep was necessary. And so she went through it, and I'd love to have her tell her story a little, because
Let's do it.
it's just beautiful to see the change. So let me put that on for you.
I was not sleeping. I was tired when I got up. I was tired when I went to bed. I was tired all day. And I looked at my husband one day and I said, I don't know if I will be able to continue working. I mean, that's how bad I was. I just felt lost. I listened to WMUZ. And I heard the advertisements, and I'm listening to this, and it took me a while to pay attention and say, you know what, maybe they can help me. Truth, I gave it to God at that point. I just said, I need your help, Lord. Guide me. And here I am. Day one, I was like a little concerned, a little frightened, and I'm like, kind of understand, but didn't. By day 3, I slept all night for the first time, and I don't know how long. I mean, tears could come to my eyes because I slept all night. And I was beside myself. It was absolutely amazing. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, I don't have to lose my job. My ability to think clear was there. So this really did save my life. It really did.
Pretty awesome.
Powerful. That's
Yeah.
powerful stuff, guys. And it seems to be the message that I hear from most people that have gone through your program, dependent. It could be sleep issues, it could be anxiety issues, it could be stressors, but the end result is always there seems to be a rejoicing in the person because they've got something back that they thought that they would never get again. And it sounds silly when you say sleep, but that is so vital to our existence.
That's right.
You
I
know?
mean, they're making discoveries constantly now because of a lot of new technologies on what's happening when we sleep. One of the things they know is, and anybody who's been sleep deprived, by the way, they know there's a serious problem.
Yeah.
If you're not sleeping and you're not sleeping properly, I mean, it really starts to wear on you. And I've got to do something about this. I'm not performing at a very high level. At some point, as she shared, you start thinking, I'm not going to be able to work. I can't keep this up. I can't perform. I'm not going to be able to function in the world. I'm going to become dependent. And it's a scary thought.
Yeah, it's overwhelming. And let's add into the issues of getting behind a motor vehicle, or if you are sleep deprived and you are working in a factory and you do have to put a part into a machine, I mean, you're risking injury too on top of all this. So
For sure.
don't put yourself through this, friend. Don't put yourself through this. There's an alternative out there with the technology proven to help you. So, man, I get more and more excited every time I talk about this because I think I do. I think
know.
because I relate to all these people.
Yeah.
You know, I relate to them, and I may not know them, I may never meet them, but I relate to their symptoms, and I relate to the rejoicing that they have at the back end of that. Going, wait a minute,
Yeah.
I feel terrific.
We
Why
get
did
to
I
have
wait?
meetings every week. We sit down with the team and we talk about how our clients are doing. And so we meet new people every day, every
Yeah.
week, and we're going through these kinds of stories.
Yeah.
I mean, for us, it's amazing it exists, and we're always thinking, wow, we have to get better at letting people know that this is here, because there's so many people out there don't even realize there's a natural alternative to a lot of these issues they're dealing with. They've got to come and check it out.
Well, the important part of this educational piece, too, is that it is non-invasive, that it doesn't involve drugs, that there is no pain. And the results that you hear time and time again coming from Brain Life Center are amazing. And we haven't even got into athletes or people with brain trauma or PTSD. As we continue here, we'll be back in a moment or so after break. I'd like to talk about that a little bit, if you wouldn't mind mentioning. I know we touched on it a little bit with the armed forces guys, but I like to talk about people that, are in high stress situations and athletes, because you work with all these people.
We do. We've worked with professional athletes that just want to improve their game.
Yeah, and everybody wants to be a step ahead. Everybody wants to have that clarity. Everybody wants to have that edge. And
why not? Why not have it, right?
Why not?
Why wait? Why not?
If our bodies are built and designed to have that, and it's in us, God's created this masterpiece in all of us.
Right. Let's be our best.
Let's be our best, and let's be on our game. Mm-hmm. And when there is things that impede that, let's get the help we need to get back on track.
We have extra people in the office right now to take calls, so we're ready.
And
we're ready.
And quickly, I want to mention the team too, because you're dealing with people that are passionate, that are compassionate, that understand what's going on, that are there to ask you questions that maybe nobody's ever asked you before about how you feel and what's going on in your life. And suddenly you're in a situation where you're with a trusting person, and this process starts to happen, and it's amazing. It's almost like an onion peeling, scaling, or whatever they call it. You're like peeling the onion off some of the layers of years and years of things that are going on. And I don't want it to sound like it's some kind of a psychiatrist thing, because it's not.
No.
You're just being honest about what's going on, your symptoms, and you share that with your person, and then you go in and you begin this process. Tell them you're listening to this program and that you want to get in and have your first assessment. Here's that phone number. It's 248-922-9490.
So I just want to say, my 4-year-old grandson and my 83-year-old grandma, or my 83-year-old mother, our mother, has gone through this. So it doesn't matter your age. Right. It doesn't matter what is going on. You have the ability to have more energy, healthier moods, better sleep, reduce anxiety, greater focus and concentration. We're going to be available today at our office till 3:30. Please call and let us help.
Guys, it's always a pleasure to have you in here. I appreciate the work that you've done for me. I know the station does, and certainly Chris and Bob, who have been through your program, and I know for the many thousands that are listening today, people are going to come out of the woodwork and take advantage of this wonderful technology. So thanks for doing what you do for our community.
You're welcome.
Very welcome. Yeah, we feel
pleasure.
Pretty blessed. Yeah, we're happy to be
God's
here.
our healer. We're just thankful to be a part of that, right?
All right.
10 years. Can you believe it's
10
been
years.
10 years?
10 years. That wraps it up. You guys enjoy the rest of the weekend. Thank you for being here with us. I appreciate it. I'm Mac. Back with you on Monday at 4 o'clock. Again, that phone number is 248-922-9490 for the Brain Life Center. You got till 3:30 this afternoon to get set up for an appointment, for an assessment. Take advantage of it. Start feeling great, and get sleep problems and anxiety and stress and focus issues and creativity issues. Get all those out of your life and start being the person that you're supposed to be. There's the timer.
Time is
Lunch
up.
is ready.
Experience your brain in high definition,
That's
right, Nick?
Have a great weekend. WMUZ 103.5, The Light.